Hey y'all, it's Crystal. Today we're learning how to make this hooded scarf. You'll need your 5mm crochet hook and about 740 yards of number 4 medium worsted weight yarn. I'm using Wander acrylic yarn from Furls Crochet. Okay, for this tutorial I'm going to use a lighter color yarn so you can see what I'm doing a bit better. Same kind of yarn, but this one is in the color Fawn. And my streamline in Capricorn. We'll start with slip knot on our hook. Chain to 35. If you need to adjust this, you need an odd number, and the first 2 chains will not count. Skip the first 2 chains. In the 3rd chain from your hook, work a half double crochet. The skip chains here don't count as our stitch. The first stitch is the half double crochet of the row. Now we're going to chain 1, skip the next chain, and we're going to work a mini bean stitch. So I'll insert my hook in the chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. I'll have 2 loops on my hook, yarn over, insert back into the same chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. I'll have 4 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through all 4, chain 1 to close it. Here's my mini bean stitch. In the top there is the mini bean stitch. Here's my chain 1. They go together. You always make a chain 1 when you make a mini bean. For simplicity's sake, we're going to count our stitches on the top. So we can see we don't count the skip chains for our starting chain. First half double crochet, first mini bean, first chain 1. So we have 3 stitches. Now we are going to skip the next chain and just keep repeating mini bean stitches across. Skip 1, work a mini bean, which includes our chain 1. Now we have 5 stitches. Skip 1, work a mini bean, chain 1, and repeat. Here I've marked my first half double crochet so I don't get confused about my skipped chains counting on that first row. I'm at the end of the row here. I have done my mini bean and my chain 1, and I have 1 chain left. In this last chain I'm going to place a half double crochet. So again, counting my stitches, I'm going to count the mini bean and the chain 1s on the top just to make it simple for keeping up with the stitch count. And you'll have 33 stitches counting each of those. Turn our work for row 2. Here we're going to chain 1 to start the row. It does not count as a stitch. We're in the top of our chain 1 in the top of our half double crochet right here. And in that stitch we're going to place a half double crochet. And that is our first stitch of the row. You can continue to use stitch markers as you get started to help you identify it. Now we're looking at our chain 1 and our mini bean stitch from the previous row. Remember, the chain 1 is part of the mini bean stitch, but that's what we're looking at here. So now we are going to chain 1, and we're going to skip this chain 1 and work into the mini bean. We're going to place another mini bean stitch, and close it with the chain 1. First half double crochet, chain 1, mini bean, chain 1 to close the mini bean. Now we'll just repeat that across. Skip this chain 1, work into the top of the mini bean stitch, which is right here, and make another mini bean, close it with the chain 1, skip, insert, repeat across. Okay, when we get to the end of the row, you'll see we have here our half double crochet and our chain one here from our first row. So we are going to skip the chain one and then work a half double crochet in the top of the last stitch. So right here I have my mini bean, chain one, and then last half double crochet. Now we'll turn for row 3, and in this one we're just working half double crochets across. Now here we are going to work into both the top of the mini bean and the chain one, the top of the mini bean and the chain one stitches. First we'll start our row with the chain one that doesn't count, and then work a half double crochet back into that same spot, and that is our first stitch of the row. Now we're going to work half double crochets into each stitch across. So here I'm working into the chain one from the mini bean and into the mini bean itself, working just simple half double crochets for this row. Just continue working half double crochets across, not skipping anything. At the end of row 3, you're going to turn and work a row of half double crochets again, and you'll repeat that 2 more times, so we'll have 4 rows of half double crochet. Okay, once you have worked 4 rows of half double crochets across, we're going to, for row 7, we're going to turn and chain 1. And here we're switching back to our mini bean rows, but first we start with our half double crochet in the first stitch. That's our first stitch of the row there. And we'll chain 1, skip 1, and then we'll mini bean in this one. Which includes our chain 1. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll just repeat that across until we have 2 stitches left. Skip 1, mini bean, chain 1. Okay, we're here at the end. We have our 2 stitches left. We did our mini bean and our chain 1. Now we're going to skip 1 and half double crochet in the last stitch. Oops. $33 stitches for row 7. We're going to turn and we'll do a repeat like row 2 where we're doing mini beans, but this time we're going to do 4 rows of mini beans total instead of 2. So we already have 1. Chain 1 that doesn't count, half double crochet to start, chain 1, skip the chain 1, mini bean here. Chain 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip the chain 1, mini bean. Here we are at the end of row 2 repeat. We're on row 8. Skip 1, half double crochet in the last stitch. And that's our second row of mini bean stitches. So now we're going to repeat row 2 for 2 more rows until we have 4 rows of mini bean stitches. Okay, now we have 4 rows of mini bean stitches. That brings us through row 10. Now we're going to switch back to half double crochets for 2 rows. For rows 11 and 12, we'll repeat rows 3 and 4. So we're turning here for row 11, chain 1, half double crochet in the same stitch, and then we're going to work a half double crochet in the chain in the mini bean, and each chain stitch and mini bean stitch across. Okay, after working 2 rows of half double crochets, we're ready to work 2 rows of mini bean stitches. So we're going to repeat row 2 here, chain 1, which doesn't count, half double crochet in that same first stitch, chain 1, skip 1, mini bean in the next, which includes our chain 1, skip 1, mini bean. Continue to repeat that across for a row 2 repeat. This is for row 13. Okay, so I finished my row 7 repeat for row 14, and now I have my stitch pattern set. Now the rest of the scarf, I'm just going to repeat rows 3 to 14. So next I'll do 4 rows of half double crochet and 4 rows of mini bean stitch, 2 rows of half double crochet, 2 rows of mini bean stitch, and you'll keep repeating those throughout. Once we get to 38 inches, if you're wanting to add the hood, we're going to extend our stitches to make the hood section. So that is what we'll work on next. Okay, so let's pretend that my scarf is 38 inches long. You can also adjust that length. That is going to be the scarf tail from your shoulder down to wherever the scarf ends. I tend to prefer longer scarves so you have more tying and styling options, but that's up to you. So my scarf is really long. I'm about halfway through the length, right? And I'm ready to add the hood. So I'm going to turn after my last row, my row 14 repeat, which is the 2 mini bean stitches, 2 rows. And next I would be doing 4 rows of half double crochets. So on this row, I'm going to extend my width. This is the scarf width. Now we're going to work half double crochet, and then we're going to add more, about double the size, the width of our scarf for our hood. So for this next row, we're just going to work it normally to start, chain 1 and half double crochet in each stitch across. So I'm going to do that, and then I will meet you at the end of the row to show you what to do next. Okay, I worked my regular half double crochet stitches across. I'm at the end of the row, and here I'm adding the hood on, so I need to extend the width of my scarf to fit my hood size. So I'm going to yarn over, because I'm working in half double crochet, and I'm going to go into the bottom of the stitch, the same stitch where I just went in, again. Insert my hook. Here I'm adding foundation half double crochet stitches. So in the last stitch, yarn over and insert my hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. 3 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through only 1. 3 loops on my hook, hold on to that 1 that we just pulled through, yarn over and pull through all 3, That gives me another half double crochet stitch, and right here I'm holding down there, I am going to insert my hook again. Yarn over, insert my hook down in the bottom, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through one, hold on to that one, yarn over, pull through three. I've added 2 stitches to the row. Keep repeating until I have added 32 foundation half double crochets. My total stitch count is 65. We need to keep an odd number so you can see how it's extending out and keeping the half double crochet stitches. I'll keep repeating this off camera. If you need to stop and rewind here to watch the foundation half double crochet a few times, go ahead and do that. And then I'll meet you back here to continue. Okay, so here I have extended my half double crochet row for my hood, and now I have 65 stitches. You can make it taller for a larger head size or shorter for a smaller head size. However, you want to make sure that you keep an odd number of stitches. Since we started with an odd number of stitches, we're adding on an even number. So we have 65 half double crochets here now, turning, and now I'm just continuing in pattern. So I am at, let's see, 2 rows of half double crochet, 2 rows of mini bean. So now it's time for 4 rows of half double crochet. I've made 1. So I'm just repeating rows 3 through 14, our stitch pattern like normal. So now I'm going to half double crochet 3 more rows, and then it'll be time to do 4 rows of mini bean stitch, and then it's time to do 2 rows of half double crochet, 2 rows of mini bean. So you're going to repeat rows 3 through 14 for now the length of the hood, the width of the hood, for 20 inches. That's 5 sets of the repeat. The rows 3 to 14 measure about 4 inches tall, so you want 5 sets of that repeat for the width of the hood. Here I'm just repeating for the full 63 stitches, 4 rows of half double crochet, 4 mini bean, then 2 rows of half double crochet, and 2 mini bean rows, and we'll keep repeating that until we have reached 20 inches or 5 sets of the repeat. Okay, so for the hood, you're going to repeat rows 3 through 14, 5 times total until your hood width from here across is at least 20 inches. Again, this part will wrap around your head. So once you have repeated it to width, then you are going to stop working all 63 stitches and just go back to only working the scarf width. Again, this is just a small sample of 2 repeats. You'll need 5 for the width. So once your hood width is reached, you're going to turn and start your repeat over from rows 3 to 14, but only work the first 33 stitches. So we're going to work 33 half double crochets, and then we're going to stop and turn and work our second row of half double crochets for our repeat, and then just continue in pattern working rows 3 through 14 for the rest of the width of our length of our scarf on the other side of our hood. Once you put your 33 stitches on, you're going to turn and start working your row 4 repeat, half double crochets in the other way, and you'll just keep working the original stitch count for the length of the scarf on the other side. The big long rectangle will be your hood. Again, this is just a small sample of 2 repeats. You'll need 5 for the width. And once you're finished with the other side scarf's length, we will fold the top of the hooded piece together and seam it. Face goes here, so the back of your head, and you have the scarf draping on either side of your shoulders. You can see here on my little sample, once I go back to scarf size and only work those first 33 stitches like we did to start, the shape here that we're getting. In the schematic here, you can see how our hooded scarf works up, where we fold it, and how we're going to seam the top of the hooded section. Here's my full-size version all ready to seam for the hooded section here in front of me. Okay, to sew this, we're going to fold the hood in half here at the top. Okay, you'll need your crochet hook and a length of yarn. We are going to use that to seam the top. And we're going to do a visible seam, so that means we're working on the right side of our hooded scarf. Okay, so I have it folded in half. I'm going to start on the outside end here, insert my crochet hook into the corner stitch on both edges of the fabric. Then I'm going to make a slip knot and put that on my hook. And pull that slip knot through both. And I'll chain one. Now we're going to insert the hook back through both pieces of fabric and single crochet. We're going to go into the next space. We're working into the side of the rose here and single crochet again. And we'll just keep inserting our hook. You can go under 2 loops, you can go under 1, you can go around the entire stitch. Usually I go under 2 loops so that I don't make it too stretchy and it doesn't pull too loose. But if you need to go through 1 on the edge of the rose, it's fine. They're not going to match up since we have a staggered row pattern where we're doing 2 sometimes and 4 other times. So just keep single crocheting the 2 layers together on the edge here. This is going across the top of the hood. Here, let me zoom in a little bit for you so you can see more closely what I'm doing. Normally when we are seaming, we have to worry about the rows lining up, but since our stitch pattern is staggered, we don't have to worry about that here, which is one reason we're embracing the visible seam line. Okay, at the end, you just pull up a long loop and cut the yarn. You can see here, this is the front of our hood.